Susan, thank you so much for joining me here today at GAIM Ops Cayman.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Tell me about the SEC rules that you think are a bit outdated. How should the industry push back?
You're asking an industry advocate that question, certainly, so bear with me. But over time, as practices change, as the market evolves, rules will become outdated. Certain things such as, say on Rule 105, there's a 5-day restricted period. Yet you're in a scenario now where you'll have more overnight deals or same-day deals. So that's where it's out of sync. And AIMA, for example, put in a petition last fall to suggest changes to that. But backing up a bit, the industry and the public at large is always welcome to contact the regulator, to request changes to rulemaking. And certainly it does. It comes in the form of petitions. In some cases, it comes during comment periods on rules. But at the end of the day, there are a number of rules that are out of date. For example, we have scenarios where perhaps you have strict liability in rulemaking that's caught more who are acting on best efforts, and we're not intended to be the target of that rulemaking. You have situations like that with the pay-to-play rules, or known as the political contributions rule. So we've put in, we're working on comment with that. You have knowledgeable employee, where you have many people at a firm who certainly are knowledgeable, yet they don't meet very narrow definitions, and so forth.
You mentioned the situations changing and therefore so should the rules. But how about the trend that CCOs are getting outsourced? How does that change leadership?
I don't know that it changes leadership per se. There are a number of reasons why a firm will select an outsourced CCO. Sometimes they're in complement to the existing CCO. Sometimes a CCO has left. It'll run the gamut. But at the end of the day, I think that having another set of eyes, and generally a fresh set of eyes, is not a bad idea. Where they're coming in, they may operate at varying levels. They may be doing the nuts and bolts compliance. They may also be providing business strategy, looking at regulatory strategy, saying with a fresh look, hey, how you've registered for this or how you're doing this is not quite in step with how it should be. It's all very valuable, but I think that it depends for the firm on what they're trying to get out of the relationship. And at the end of the day, I don't view it as a bad thing. I do think it's increasing now.
I wanted to maybe gauge your thoughts on where you think regulation might be slowing down innovation. I mean, we're hearing about AI a lot here at GAIM Ops Cayman. Where are you standing on that?
There's always the potential for regulation to slow innovation, and that's not necessarily a bad thing in that the regulator may need to do that. They may have to tap the brakes on things. I don't know that the current administration is as likely to do that as past administrations. They certainly are more innovation friendly. I do worry about the potential for a blow up, whether it's due to wrongdoing or just happenstance to occur, and then regulation to be reactive. And reactive regulation is rarely what you want to work with going forward. So I don't know, short answer, that it's slowing it down, but I think there's certainly the potential for that to occur.
Interesting. And with the relaxation of regulatory rules, etc., where do you think will we see pressures later on?
It's funny that you say relaxation, because I continually harp on the fact that it's not a deregulation environment, it's a re-regulation. The pendulum will swing. I've been in this industry for a very long time. Right now, it may seem that the pendulum has swung to a lighter regulatory touch. I don't believe that that's the case. First of all, you've seen Chair Atkins talk about the fact that there's more to come. I think that we're going to see it this year, as opposed to last year, where it was new for him, of course, but we also had a very long shutdown. So I think there's plenty in the hopper, and I think that you are going to see more regulation than perhaps you were expecting to see straight away. But that's not a bad thing, certainly not for a compliance officer. I do think that there's a better chance that it'll be fit for purpose.
Absolutely. So then how can firms keep up on top of these? How can they navigate the rest of 2026 and moving beyond that?
Oh gosh. Well, there are a couple of different things that are going on at the same time. There are new ways to do business. There are new types of investments. So prediction markets is one that's coming on fast. It's very difficult sitting in the CCO or GC seat right now because you're having to learn. It's a friend likens it to building a plane while you're flying it. And that's kind of how it is. Compliance officers at the end of the day still have their core requirements to look after. That doesn't change. But the complicating factors certainly are there. Everything's moving quickly. The best thing that compliance officers can do, and firms in general can do, is stay on top of things. I always recommend people take some courses. Some are free, some are fairly cheap. In AI, get to understand what it actually is. It's not just ChatGPT. So understand it, learn it. Certainly come to events like this where you're going to hear from a wide swath of the industry, but keep an open mind, take a deep breath, and keep moving forward.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.